You're listening to Pink Lady Presents, only on LA Talk Radio.
Eleanor Roosevelt once said, "Beautiful young people are acts of nature, but beautiful older people are works of art." And I am so proud to have with me today a true work of art, a lovely lady, Dr. LynLevine. Welcome. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sweetheart. I'm so excited to be
I
here.
know.
We're excited too. After looking at this book, we are very excited.
And I have to tell everybody, Doug,
Yes.
that Lynn and I share a birthday year. And Lynn, you're going to be how young?
Next week, I will be 86 years young.
And she is older than I am. Because I will be 86 in September. So
A little respect.
a little respect. You're right. Yeah. Lynn, tell me something. You started teaching, and then you went from there to becoming a marriage and family therapist. And I mean, tell our audience a little bit about what's going on.
Well, primarily I was 32 years old, and I did everything I thought I was supposed to do to be happy. I married a good man, I had a house, a career, got children. 2 at the time, went on for 1 more later. But I wasn't that happy. So I went on a search
Oh, okay.
to find out how to be happy, because if getting what I wanted didn't make me happy, I was doomed to a life of deciding something else would be happy, but once I got it, I wouldn't be happy. So I wanted the secret to
Okay.
being happy. And in my research of researching happy people, one of the traits was believing in a loving source, like a God.
Okay, but that is what we're going to hold for a little while, because that's her new book, and we're going to go into that. What I want to know is, when you became a teacher,
Yes.
what made you decide on that particular, I think it was elementary school that you did?
5th grade.
5th grade. And then you weren't happy with that? What else did you do?
No, it wasn't that I wasn't happy. I
Okay.
loved it, actually.
Okay.
I loved my class, and they were amazing, just amazing. Anyway, that's another program. I was going to do my 3rd child,
Okay.
and which I did. Called up the principal and said I couldn't come back. My extracurricular activities caught up with me. But anyway, that's not true. He was planned. And
TMI, everybody. Definitely TMI.
Tell them what that means.
TMI, too much information.
Anyway, then I went on and I did lots of things. I got a government grant. I went on and got my degree. I got my master's degree, and I got my marriage and family license.
Now, let me ask you, why that particular subject? I mean, well, why that? I mean, there's millions of subjects that you could have done. Why did you pick marriage and family?
I volunteered at a counseling center to become a paraprofessional counselor.
And what is that? A lot of our audience.
That's where you are trained to counsel people, but you're not licensed.
Oh, okay.
And a whole group of us were so enthralled with counseling that we all went back for our master's degree and went on to get licensed as marriage
Wow.
and family therapists.
Wow. And how long did you do that? Are you still doing that?
Yes, and then I went on, I got my bachelor's in my 30s, my master's in my 40s, and my doctorate in my 50s. And I'm learning now, like, I'm just discovering life.
I have to tell you something that Lynn told me. She said when she got her doctor's degree, it was the most phenomenal thing in the world. And I said, well, I think that's wonderful. I mean, you worked hard, you studied, and you were up late nights, and you had children and family. She said, no. She said, when I call up for a reservation at a restaurant, and I say, this is Dr. LynLevine, I get right in. It's worth it all, right?
It's the truth. Everybody calls me Lynn. They don't call me doctor.
I'll call you doctor.
It's
Thank
good.
you.
Okay.
My mother said, well, you're not a real doctor.
Yes,
You
you're
know?
a real
Oh, yes, no, you're
You're
a
not
real
a doctor.
Yeah.
Tell me, we're both interested in community outreach.
Yes.
And how did you do that?
Well, in this program, we were all supposed to take on a project. So I took on aging. I loved my grandmother. So I took on aging, and the psychiatrist who was teaching us said, "Why don't you get a grant?" And I said, "Great, what's a grant?" And he said, "They give you money and for a great idea." And I said, "I can do that." And I found that there was a grant available. Every council district in Los Angeles has a senior multipurpose center. And this was the grant for the pilot project to demonstrate how it could be done. And I won it. It wasn't logical. I didn't realize my competition. I just knew that I'm creative and intentional, and I want to empower and support people in aging. And I created 18 programs, just creating it, and submitted what I was going to do. And they
accepted.
They accepted.
Well, when you say 18 programs, so in other words,
In
a senior center,
yes.
and you gave them the idea of programs that they could give their seniors.
And a storefront, not in a church or synagogue in a
Okay.
basement room someplace.
Okay.
And we didn't have enough money in the grant I got a store, but it was dilapidated, and I enrolled 5 labor unions to work free because I kept saying, "You're going to be old someday." And those incredible men, they were all men,
Right.
the carpenters, the plumbers.
And they did it for nothing.
They did it for love.
For
They
love.
were. I provided weekends and evening beer, pizza, and a boombox, and they created this incredible, beautiful facility.
And which was your first one?
My first one was.
Facility, where was it?
It was in Van Nuys, next to the Social Security.
Oh, that's a good place.
And we had it for a couple of years, and we had 2,500 members.
Wow.
And then, because it was a model, we went on to create the one that started in the West LA that is now known as One Generation.
That's mine, and it's fabulous. Fabulous.
And it serves over 60,000 seniors and veterans a year.
Wow, that is absolutely, I mean.
What I'm going to do is jump in and tell
Great.
you that I'm renaming your whole project, okay? Because you said you had 18 ideas. So this is now the LynLevine High Project,
And tell our
which
audience
means life.
Right.
And you are certainly adding to and enhancing the lives of all these people who, before you
Right.
developed these products and these programs, didn't have what they have today. So, Kol HaKavod, all the honor. And
you.
thank you for doing that.
Life is just a gift that keeps giving.
Yes, it
You
is.
see, I always say it's a present, so enjoy it in the present. Let me ask you something. The subjects that you gave them, I'm just curious, in the beginning, give me an idea of our audience, what subjects that you, because you didn't know what would be interesting to anybody.
Anything they wanted. We taught them languages, we
Good.
had exercises, we had yoga, we had creative writing, we had at current events, we had rap groups, we
Love
had,
it.
I had, interesting one was I started friendship circles.
Oh.
So they could, groups of 10,
Right.
and they would meet at each other's home, celebrate birthdays, holidays.
Very
And
important.
some of them stayed and were very vital, and some of them didn't. And when I investigated what it was that kept, listen carefully to this one, what it was that keeps groups together is that one person took responsibility for the existence of the group.
Right.
They would say, "When are we meeting again?" And they would
Good.
call people who didn't show up. If nobody did that, it disappeared. Yes.
It disappeared. I am excited because I read your new book. By the way, Lynn's new book is on Amazon, and we'll talk about that. The book is called Okay, God, Let's Talk, which, okay, first of all, what inspired you to write this book? That's the first thing.
Okay, so my research in happy people, believe in God, and at the time, although I was raised Orthodox actually, I didn't believe in an external being or eternal being, but I wanted to be happy. So I created my own God. First I called him Bernie.
I love it.
And it was Bernie's job to love and adore me and find my faults cute. And it was my job to let the love in. And I got to tell you that letting the love in was harder than him loving me. And one day, and I just kept owning him more and more into my reality, and would turn things over and then discuss how it went, and just a whole partnership. And one day somebody asked me if I believed in God, and I'm strange enough, I didn't want to say I believe in Bernie. So I said, yes, I believe in God. And after that, I called him God.
I love it. What skills or experiences helped you to write this book?
Well, first of all, I became happy.
Okay.
Having a loving God as my partner in life. I'm known for being happy. I walk around with a smile on my face. People smile back, and I forget I'm smiling until they smile back.
But you also must have had, like, your life experiences.
Of course.
To get you to this point.
Of course.
And
I did everything. I
Right.
did everything. I did A Course in Miracles. I did Landmark
go.
Education, which I love. I did.
everything you could.
I
Everything
did. I
you
went
could.
on a 2-year search, and I did everything. And I'm still involved
Searching.
in learning and growing.
And what, let me ask you, did you have many challenges in writing this book?
Oh, talk about challenges.
Okay, we'll
Was
just
m-
talk about challenges.
My resistance. I've been writing this book for 10 years.
Okay.
I was resistant to
Why?
share it with the world.
Oh, very interesting. Okay, okay.
And then I just said,
Time.
it's time.
It's time. It's time.
I went to visit someone in the hospital, in the emergency room, and a woman came in the bed next to him, behind that curtain. And she was alone, and I brought my book to the person I was visiting,
Right.
and I said, here, I wrote this book, read it, and I'll be back and get it. It belongs to this person. And when I walked back in, she said, why am I angry? And I said, what do you mean? And she said, a man parked in front of my house today. I was so angry all day. I came in, I was angry, and I'm reading your book. And I'm saying, why am I angry? I didn't know it was a choice.
I love it. You told me when I started to read the book, which was very interesting, I said, well, where is like the meat of the book, you know? And you said, no, Pink, there's no meat to the book. The whole book is meat. The whole book is important. But if you just take the book and open up to any page, something on that page is yours. And I did, so this is what I want you to look at. I want you to go to page 28. And Lynn, read the first part. You're Lynn, I'm God.
It's commonly thought that aging brings decline. I find that trusting my body to be vital and healthy produces sweet results. Love works. Even my plants thrive when I love them.
Say more.
I'd probably be physically declining if I wasn't in partnership with all my cells, especially those constantly being born. They show off their ability to produce perfect health, and I adore them with appreciation and gratitude.
Say more.
If I do have a symptom, I don't make a big deal out of it like I now have a problem. I trust that my new cells are born perfectly, and that those symptoms will soon disappear.
Say more.
I do have some old conversations that don't serve me. I'll hear my past voice telling me to take a jacket or I'll catch a cold, rather than take a jacket in case I need it. I know better than to complain about my wonderful body. I no longer listen to people blame getting older as a source of their physical or mental problems. Fear produces more fear. Appreciation produces more to appreciate.
Say more.
My body is my precious pet, and I treat it lovingly. I wake up in the morning hugging myself, enjoying the pleasure of being alive. I acknowledge my cells. I really hug myself. I acknowledge my cells for being healthy warriors. In my 50s, I used to wake up so stiff I felt rusty. I took on loving my body and knowing that new cells produce perfect health. Now, in my 80s, I'm grateful I created health and vitality. My body is my most important partnership, and I honor and enjoy our relationship.
Love can appear magical. I tell you, I so enjoyed every part of it, Dove. It's funny, but when someone says, read my book, Lynn's a friend. So you say, well, of course. But getting into it, what is the message that you would like to tell our audience today about what they will get from, okay, God, let's talk?
There are two ways of being. You can come from what you already know, but that's like just reporting on what you already know, like a robot. Or you can create newly. You can discover this moment. There's only now. There's never anything else but now. The past never happened when you're awake now. It only influences you, and the past is all the incompletions of life anyway, most of the time. It's like you are an awakening awareness, and it's joyful. You're not even a Lynn or a Pink. You're a child with innocence, with the wisdom of the ages. It's exciting to be alive and discover. Don't miss out on the show and waste your life about what you said before or thought
Right.
before.
I say to people, don't waste time on the little stuff or the big stuff. It doesn't matter, all that stuff.
I like that.
And it's true.
One of the people that wrote to Lynn's, it's on the back of the book called Okay, God, Let's Talk. It says, these pages teach me I can be a light in the world when motivated by love, not fear. Her humor and conversations with God enhanced my life. It's available on Amazon, folks. I highly recommend you get it.
Do you have any advice for other writers of any age about what to write, how to start it? I mean,
Yes. Have a terrible first draft. Just
I
mess
love
it up.
that.
Just go for it, and it's half of it is garbage. Don't worry about it. Just write the stupid book. And then you can extract the gold, the parts you love, the parts that you really want to share with other people.
I think you're right, because there's so much. When I wrote my book, I just threw some of it away, and there were nights that I was crying. I mean, it's just not good. I'm never going to get this finished, and maybe I had 2 sentences, but little by little, it does come to you. What are your plans for the future? I mean, you're young. You got plenty of time. What's going to happen?
That's right.
So what's on the agenda for Dr. Lynn Levine?
Well, just yesterday or the day before, I had a thought. What about creating internet groups like me and my God. Have people creating their own loving source if they don't believe in one. Just make it up. It could be anything.
Could be Bernie.
It could be Bernie.
I love it.
He's got a lot of life left in him. Just travel life with a loving source that loves you and adores you like a grandparent, a loving grandparent would. Create one for yourself, but develop a relationship with them, not something that you think of when you need help and you're desperate, but someone to be with. You'll never be lonely when you have someone loving to work life out with.
And I think that a lot of it is we all can have partners and things like that, but there are times, I believe, that when we're alone, that you need someone, everyone needs someone that they can just say something to.
Yes.
And know that that person is there.
And know that you're human and you have your faults and the things you're ashamed of. Actually, the identity, I say, is based on shame.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I find myself saying, that was stupid. I don't think I'm stupid.
No, you're not. Far from stupid.
But my machinery taught itself when I was little to say that was stupid. And it given that it's just a machine, if I'm available, it programs me based on fear.
Right.
It programs me. And I go, thank you for sharing. No, I may have done something stupid, but I'm not stupid.
I want to ask you a kind of personal question. Was there in your life, or is there in your life, a person named Bernie that you based all this on? She's blushing.
No. There was a relative.
Oh, okay.
A short, heavy-set man.
Okay.
Whose name was Bernie, and I loved him. He was jovial, as little fat people should be. But anyway, he was a good man, and I always felt safe with him. He wasn't looking for what was wrong with me or judging me. He enjoyed me, and I was so safe with him. I could just be myself. I could be any way, and I knew there was nothing I could do to have him not love me.
Like you are with God.
Yes.
Please, ladies and gentlemen, as you watch our program today, Okay God, Let's Talk is available on Amazon. Not just buy one for yourself. I say buy one for all your friends and family because they will enjoy talking to God.
It's on Kindle, too.
And on Kindle. Lynn, thank you so much, and we will be right back.